Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech. The sharp-eyed among you might have noticed that we are in the Bromhead system. Hey, that's not where he said he was gonna go. Here's the deal. Also, 149 days remaining, some time has passed. Listen, stuff has gotten weird. So, I was talking about heading up to Maldives, right? This looks good, 4.5 skulls, but then I noticed there's no local government to offer contracts, and all of the active factions on this system hate us very much and would never give us a well-paying job. So I decided, nah, screw that, we'll go to a place where people actually do like us that has a high rating. Except, no, that's not what happened. Where I actually went was Taurus. And I was like, hey, people like us here, and they'll give us good jobs. But the same thing happened here as happened on Bromhead when I arrived. It turns out all of the jobs are being offered exclusively by factions who will not work with us. I assume that the Taurians are the target of most of these jobs. So, bad luck there. That was about 50 days spent on travel for no money. We did get some points. These are systems we hadn't been to before, so we are scoring some stuff, but on the whole, it's been pretty rough. So here's my new plan. We gotta get back to open space. All of the worlds, all of the systems in Arano space are potentially valuable, but we've been to a lot of them. We've done the missions on the ones that are interesting. So, I think we're going to fly to Paia. Yep. The local government, at least, could give us some jobs here. The magistracy doesn't all the way hate us, and they're probably able to give us 2.5 skulls. I'm gonna fly over here. I'm gonna blow up some robots, probably off camera, because it won't be very interesting, because they'll be very easy robots to blow up. And then we're going to figure some stuff out. I like this route a lot. It takes us over. I believe we've been to almost none of the systems that are on the route here, so this is a bunch of points. And we will figure it out from there. We are rapidly running out of time and rapidly running out of people who will hire us because we're just too damn good at our jobs. The price we have to pay. So let's fly. I'll fly on camera and then I'll do the jobs off camera. Because who knows, cool stuff might happen in space. Then again, it is also potentially the case, and probably pretty likely, that only stuff that we have seen happen to us before will happen out here in space. And we're getting real close to the point where I start building those last couple of Argo upgrades, and the reason I wanted to wait, right, is that sometimes random bad luck, you get events and your morale drops, and morale is worth points, so we can, like you can see, our morale is at 49 right now, partially because of that. What's up? We got pirates. Okay, blaring klaxons interrupt an otherwise quiet morning routine. We've had this event before. Stalling until, or paying them off causes morale to drop because everybody who works for us is a goddamn moron. No, we should definitely fight these pirates for no reason instead of giving them an amount of money that I literally will not even notice is gone. But you know what? Fine. Let's stall until the leopard's ready and see what happens then. The frustrated pirate tries to walk you through the money transfer one more time. No, the last account number is a 0, not the letter O. It's never the letter O! Just then, the leopard leaps free from its docking collar on the side of the Argo and fires a barrage of LRMs at the pirate ships. The pirates retaliate with laser blasts and the whole ship groans as emergency systems activate. After another flash of light from the leopard, the enemy captain gives the order to retreat. Unfortunately, it's too late for Kitty Hawk, who was caught up on the wrong side of a blast door and ends up in the medbay. Well, that's a crying shame, but at least we didn't lose any morale. I'd so much rather our pilots get shot with lasers than lose any morale. I'm feeling like I'm in a little bit of a mood right now. Sorry. I was gonna say something, I don't remember what it was. Oh, why don't we just, like... So, most of the mechs are humanoid, right? And several of them have hands with fingers on them. Why don't we hook up a bunch of, like, high-strength ropes, cables, whatnot, to the outside of the ship and just have mechs riding on the outside all the time. They could just hold the ropes and it would be like their cowboys, their space cowboys. That's a great idea. I can't believe nobody's ever had that idea before, space cowboys. I should write a series about that. But they could just hang out on the outside, and when stuff like this happens, we could just shoot the LRMs right away, right? We could have the crab and the new stalker I built. I built a new stalker. We'll look at it in a minute. I was curious, how many LRMs can you really just jam into one of those things? It turns out 4 LRM-20s is not a great plan, because you don't have enough remaining tonnage to put in enough ammo to fire them all more than like 4 or 5 times. And if you do that, you can't put any other components in, so you end up with like no heat reduction, and 4 LRM-20 launchers is a fair amount of heat. You are going to have problems. So I found what I think is a reasonable compromise with some plus damage LRM-10s and stuff. Yeah, we could just, honestly, forget ropes. That one doesn't even have hands. It couldn't hold on. But we could just strap that thing to the hull, right? Or maybe strap it to the docking collar. You see how the docking collar is constantly, like, rotates? We just strap it to the docking collar, and when we get in trouble, we just spin the collar around to the right side and have it... That's the sound of missile launchers going off. And it usually sounds bigger than that, but that's because in space, you know... In space, everything sounds like... That's something the astronauts are keeping from us. They don't want people to know. If they knew how silly space was, they wouldn't want to go back, is the fear. Okay, the Mercenary Review Board. Darius brings a thorny issue... Boy, reading. Darius brings a thorny issue to the daily briefing. Commander, our relationship with the Capellan Confederation has been steadily degrading. I'm sorry. What? How could it possibly? Yang grins. Well, we do keep kicking their asses for money, probably related. Darius nods. Just so. Purely business, but they're not convinced. As a result, the Mercenary Review Board has invited us to sit down with the Liao envoy and discuss the situation. He pauses to let that sink in. They're waiting for us, right here in Peya. What? I will attend the meeting to defend myself to the MRB. I actively don't want to improve relations. Improving relations is bad for our score. When you arrive with Darius and all your logbooks at the local MRB offices, the envoy from the Capellan Confederation is already there and already complaining. After she finishes her lengthy grievances, the review board agent walks the table through every conflict both sides has participated in. You make your case with reference to verified historical records. The House Liao representative grows increasingly agitated listening to your defense. Finally, she abruptly ends the meeting and storms from the room. The review board agent's forehead furrows. Commander, the MRB will reject the complaint filed by the Capellan Confederation, but it's my suspicion that this may not be the end of the issue with you. We do not, in fact, lose through reputation with the Capellan Confederation, because there is no reputation to lose. That's an absurd idea. I've worked very hard to make sure that we were at the lowest possible level of reputation with these people. Now let's visit the store real fast. Did I not click the button? I thought I clicked the button. I'm trying really hard to go to the store. I don't even know why I'm looking. Just curious. Okay. What are the contracts? Tell me there are jobs. Come on. Something. Anything. Just let me work. Let me work for a tiny, tiny number of points. Hey, look at that. Jobs. And they're all from the local government, and hopefully they're all against people we don't care about. These are all going to be, like, hilariously easy. Okay, negative rep for the Magistracy of Canopus is one of the very few things that can still give us points, rep-wise. Because the Magistracy is the only... Oh, that's beautiful. The Magistracy is the only reputation that is not at 100 or negative 100 or 0 that we can actually still affect. So every time we drop Magistracy rep, we get points, right? How much is it? Negative faction rep. Each one of those points is worth 100 points. That's actually awesome. That's so good that I will probably take 0 pay and 0 salvage on those missions to up the amount of reputation we lose, because each point of reputation is worth so much more than the money. Yeah, 10,000 C-bills is a single point, so 1,000,000 C-bills is the same amount of scoring as losing a single point of reputation. Okay, I'm actually overjoyed about this. You know what? The best thing for us to do for the remaining 116 days is probably to try to drop rep with the Canopians. Okay, that's... We have a plan. We have a direction. We have a strategy now. I'm going to go ahead and not record these, because they won't be interesting. 3.5 skull assassination. You know what? Let's bang this out right now. Let's just go ahead and do this. This one is against the Capellans. There's no value here. Let's just go ahead and take it as full payment. You know what? Actually, hold on. Let's go to the store. Let's do some math real fast. Selling things. Okay. So a 95-tonner is 1,000,000 C-bills. So on a mission like this, where we're talking about probably seeing something from the assault class. Right, 3.5 skull assassination. Whatever we fight here is going to be big. Is it better to take 314 salvage, actually? I've been assuming that it was a bad idea to take salvage based on my memory of selling smaller mechs. You know, medium and heavy class mechs are often in like the 200 to 400,000 range, which is not very impressive. But with big mechs being as valuable as they are, if the assassination target is actually something good, and we headshot him and take home the whole mech and sell him off, we'll make probably an amount that is comparable to the 829 at least. Right, like those awesomes were in that area, right? And then we'll also get 75,000 C-bills on top of it, and we'll also get 11 more pieces of salvage, among which could be more mech chassis parts, which could be more money. Yeah, it might be better. It might have been the case that we were better off trying to go for headshots on everything and taking full salvage on all of these missions. Well, that's points lost. That's unfortunate. I mean, like, okay, so stuff in the 80-ton range is about 800k. Yeah, you can see what I was talking about down here, like these 45-tonners, and even like 65-tonners are not amazing. So on any mission where we are likely to see assault-class mechs, we probably want to actually focus on salvage rather than cash, and go for the cleanest kills we possibly can. But on missions where we're not going to see that, we want to just pulverize everything, just get through the mission fast. Okay. I guess it's always better, even if you're taking 0-2 salvage, it's always better to try to kill enemy mechs cleanly so that you increase the chances of body parts showing up in the loot. All right, let's wipe out this thorn in the side. So we are in fact going 314 salvage here. Feels strange. We get in here, and it turns out that the badass assassination mech is a Thunderbolt. I'm going to be very cross. Then again, I mean, in any case, we're talking about a pretty small number of total points here. Or, yeah, points. Points is the word I wanted. Hey, Hex. You should probably get in here, because I want you to be a better pilot. We could drop Flatline. Her skills are not totally ideal for Eric the Red, but also Eric the Red stands so far away from combat and contributes so little outside of his initiative bonus that it kind of doesn't matter who pilots him or what they're good at. And this is probably not going to be a very hard mission. Could we get somebody who's not all 10s in here just so we can keep making the numbers go up? I like it when the numbers go up. We're going to hit Badlands biome, so we're going to be a little careful with Big Swarmy's heat, but I also expect our enemies are going to be pretty weak. Yeah, this is fine. Let's go. Let's go to it. Let's do the thing. I'm really, honestly, I'm uncertain if it is right to run the Cyclops over just accepting our mechs having lower initiative, but having a fourth mech that is actually a big contributor. It's not like the Cyclops is terrible, right? But, like, what are the situations where the initiative actually makes a difference? I guess when we're fighting other heavy mechs, the fact that we can guarantee we will go first means that we can reserve until after them as much as possible, take a turn, and then immediately get another turn. We get that twice in a row thing at the beginning of a battle. That can be pretty devastating, especially since many of our mechs are capable of one-shotting an enemy assault in various ways. Yeah, I think it's still pretty valuable. It's just kind of funny how excited I was about it when we found it, and how bad it has gotten relative to the rest of our active roster.
Command interface initiated.
Alright. Let's go find that guy, and also splatter a bunch of other dudes. Collateral splattering. Not really the point, just, you know, shooting people because you can, to some extent.
Heading out.
Is not a good way to live your life. I would not advise it as a general strategy.
Be careful, Commander.
But, you know, robots change things. Giant robots change things. Boy, they sure have a lot of dudes for their turn to be
I'm
taking that
receiving
long.
Standing by.
This is another thing that I think is kind of a bummer about 1200 Days, and I do not mean to say that I think that they should never repeat maps, to be clear, before I really get into the thing I'm about to say here. But
On the move.
I do think they maybe have too few maps
Coordinates
for
received.
them to be encouraging 1200 day campaigns. And again, the problem here is not the number of maps, it's that 1200 days just seems like
Aye,
a really weird choice to me, because I don't know if I think that this game really holds up well over 1200 days is all. All right, let's jump over to here, get vision on as many enemies as possible.
Enemy contact.
Got a quick draw over there. So a lot of enemies with very poor armor on this mission, which means that we're looking at heads that only have 27 health. That makes it really, really easy to knock heads off and put a lot of salvage in the pool, but we definitely have to make sure this Demolisher dies. I guess it moves on one. We don't have to shoot it with Big Swarmy. I'm going to go for the head of the quick draw, I think. Yeah, let's just remove that. So I only have to hit it once, which I did.
Tango down.
Yeah, down armored enemies are really easy to kill. So whatever mech this is about to have a turn. It's interesting. They have a lot of stuff operating on 3.
Acknowledged.
Kaz can probably kill this from here, right? With it being so down armored. A shot to... Actually, he would have to hit both of his shots to the same location. Probably not. Well... What does that mean we want to do? It means I should have right-clicked on this beforehand. I should have sprinted forward, is what it means. Well, we could get lucky. Shot to the turret, man. Okay, well, one missile launcher onto the Demolisher will almost certainly finish the job. I'm going to reserve down. I want to have the Cyclops try to kill the Demolisher, but I want to have the Crab still available after the Cyclops' turn in case we don't get there.
Standing by. On my way.
Oh, we don't have split fire. Well, you know what? Just go ahead and give him all of the missiles. So never mind, we didn't we didn't really need to have backup here. Actually, none of the missiles hit the weak areas, and it did take almost all of that fire to finish the job, so maybe I'm glad I didn't have the ability to split fire, because I definitely would have just put the LRM-15 on him, and I don't think it would have worked.
Ready for orders.
Alright, now they have not had any
Moving out.
sensor lock or anything. The only reason they're able to target us at all is because this guy is still providing vision, so let's see if we can fix that. Am I going to go to his head? Yeah.
All weapons are go.
So the odds of that working was pretty much just the 18% on the Gauss rifle. But even if it hadn't worked out, like, we would have done so much damage to him because of how bad his armor is that it would have been fine. Alright, well, lots of mech parts in the loot pool now.
Systems holding.
When you're talking about C-bill optimization, you really are talking about a very, very small number of points. And I guess I was still visible. Maybe that guy has vision of me. I don't think I was sensor locked. No, maybe I was. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't much matter, I suppose.
Moving out.
What we have here is a trebuchet, and we're going to shoot as many laser weapons as we can at his head.
Target locked.
Ooh, I don't think I got him at all. No, I did not. He is almost dead, though. Probably a cicada over there.
Waiting for orders.
We no longer have the resolve necessary to go for an aim shot, so let's just get Kazway up here. As again through the destroyer.
Commander?
Man. I really can't get vision of any of these guys. Oh, I guess that guy makes sense. He is all the way behind that. I'm a little surprised that we can't see him from any of these positions, though. Well, I'm going to reserve down. Again, let's have the Cyclops lead off the ranged brigade here.
Receiving you.
Just kind of curious. We might get a kill. See, it really, really does not have a lot of health. If the PPC hits center, which it did, yeah, I think there's a fair chance we just kill it straight up.
That's a kill.
Yeah, part of the problem here
What's up, boss?
is going to turn out to be that, like, cicadas are just pretty annoying to fight. Yeah, sure. Just run over here. Give us some vision on this side. You know, they get a lot of points of evasion, and then my hit chances are not as high as I would like them to be.
Reporting minimal damage.
I guess the water will probably interfere with that, though.
Damn, let's do this.
They do not get to move as quickly as they
Yes,
would like
Commander.
in the water. Yeah, 3 points of evasion is enough to make stuff pretty miserable, it turns out.
Aye.
Well, if the AC-20 hits at all, it's going to just tear this thing to pieces. I guess aim for the head? Okay, head destroyed.
No retreat.
We're doing an alright job today, I think.
Eliminated.
He's going to fill the salvage list with mech parts.
Commander.
You are suffering some major heat issues. We do have the machine guns this time. I mean, I'm going to go for the head again. We're just going to turn off whatever we got to turn off. So it's going to be medium lasers mostly. At 27, yeah, the small lasers are actually still lethal. So we have 5 weapons here, each with a 1 in 5 chance of hitting the head, basically, and any one of them will kill it.
Confirmed.
Still pretty good odds, honestly. Yep, first shot. And I believe 2 of the lasers hit the head. Which is good, because if one of those had missed the head, it might have cored the thing.
Orders? On my way.
I don't think this is going quite the way they were hoping it would. I'm just going to keep aiming for the head, as long as it keeps working. Oh, bad news for you, buddy. We're extremely overqualified for this job.
Waiting for orders.
But I mean, like, what are they supposed to do, right? Is our employer supposed to be like, nah, we think you'd be too good at it, I don't want to hire you. We asked them for 75,000 C-bills, and that they just let us take home a bunch of the stuff from the battlefield. They're probably overjoyed at this offer. Alright, let's jump down into the water. Increase the effectiveness of our coolants. Looks like that's about all we get. I mean, you know the deal.
Firing on target.
Yeah, we got him.
Target destroyed.
Thank you, Darius.
Mech destroyed.
It kind of looks to me like the smuggler leader he's not meaningfully moved forward. Like, you can see the edge of the mission area is just behind him. He's been standing just about there for the entire time, and he legitimately is only 60 tons. Oh, that's frustrating.
Affirmative.
3.5 skull assassination mission. There were 60-ton mechs in the other... That's very disappointing, that's all.
Let's move.
Well, we're gonna move forward on him. I'm not gonna be able to shoot at him at all this turn. Oh, he did finally move forward. And enough that we actually do get to... Wow, weird.
What's up, boss?
Guess the game feels that the dragon is just a really big and impressive mech.
On my way.
Don't know that I agree necessarily. Hey, Hex. Oh, he's got real armor. Never mind. I was gonna say, if she could just PPC headshot his brains right out, that would probably be the right play.
Firing.
Primary target damage, Commander.
No retreat.
Well, that PPC leaves a little something to be desired. Can I... Yes, I can hit him from the water. We're just gonna stay in the water eternally over here.
Target confirmed.
Well, we sure showed that arm who's boss.
That's gonna hurt.
I don't know. Let's have Glassjaw go for the headshot as well. I mean, like, a whole dragon is probably 5 or 6, right? That would be okay to have. Mostly this is about knocking him down,
Solid connection on that one.
because we do not have the resolve for another proper aim shot. Have we done any damage to the head? Yeah, I got him a little bit.
I'm receiving you.
One of those 6 damage missiles got there. Which unfortunately means, in order for this to work, I would have to hit him with both weapons to the head. But we're just gonna go for it. It actually happened.
Mech destroyed.
We actually did just hit the 2 1 and 5s. Well, I mean, it's not that unlikely, I guess.
On my way.
Things that are...
Order acknowledged.
You might look at that and say, hey, isn't that like a 4% shot or something? But things that are less likely than that happen to you every single day, right?
Move order confirmed. 10-4.
Unfortunately, now it's going to make me actually walk to the end of the mission area.
Standing by. Location confirmed.
So, I don't know, this might end up being a lot of money, because we might be able to complete more than one mech from it.
Waiting for orders.
But I'm still not happy with the fact that a dragon was the assassination target.
Location confirmed.
That's actually worse than it being a thunderbolt, which is the thing that I said I was going to be very cross about. So I suppose, as a man of my word, I should be very cross right now.
Mission successful.
You can't see it, but I'm making all the cartoon anger indications. There's steam coming out of my ears. My face turned into a giant wolf's face? That's a thing, right? Everything's red. I'm looking outside the window and there's people out there and they look like giant turkey legs. All that stuff is happening. I'm so mad. All right, what are we getting here? So we were not almost done with anything. We probably ought to take home a Jaeger mech and ignore the dragon, because the Jaeger mech has a higher tonnage, and as far as I'm aware, the tonnage of the mech is the only thing that matters toward its sale price. And then, yeah, okay, because we took so many pieces of salvage, and we were careful to put so many pieces of salvage into the pool, we got a bunch of extra stuff. It's not actually going to finish anything extra, but, you know, it's all money. Well, actually, it's not. We can't sell partial salvage, so if we don't complete these mechs, it is not, in fact, money. But a lot of these are very common types. We see a lot of Jaeger mechs, we see a lot of quick draws. I don't think we do see dragons that often. We might be able to finish that dragon off, though. On the whole, very disappointing. A very disappointing showing for the math that we did before the mission. And with that, I think I am going to cut it there for the moment. I'll clean up the rest of the missions on here real fast and figure out where we're going next. And I'll see you then. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's that stalker. I called it the 4 trebuchets because it is roughly 4 trebuchets. I tried to spell out several trebuchets, but the character limit on these mech names is absurdly short. So yeah, it does 300 damage, 180 stability damage is kind of nice. And this is with half of the launchers on it not having any pluses, because LRM-20s with pluses on them are apparently super hard to come by. It's firing 70 missiles for volley with 600 missiles in the thing, so we don't get to fire the 10 times that is usually, like 8 to 10 times is usually where I feel comfortable. We're above 8. You know, this is fine. As you can see, though, it's like it just doesn't have the tonnage to mount anything else if you do this. With this many heat sinks, we are still plus 22 on heat. And you gotta remember that that's assuming we're at full heat sink capacity. We do a lot of missions on Badlands and other hot biomes. So I'd be a little uncomfortable pushing the heat any harder here, like taking out heat sinks for lasers or anything. I don't know. I don't think this is great. I think that the way we built our Stalker is a way better use of it. But if you had more plus damage 10s and 15s, such that you could get the same damage output without quite the same amount of tonnage, and then you could mount like some large lasers on it or something, it could be okay. I don't honestly think that it's going to be better for the job than the crab we have is, but it could totally be okay. Anyway, back in a minute. Okay, this isn't really relevant to anything. I just wanted to catch this on camera. Check this out. I ran into this crab during one of these easy missions. It is just permanently on fire. It has been on fire the entire time I've been fighting it. That is so wicked, and I wish that there was a thing we could slot into our mechs that would make them be permanently on fire. Even if it weighed tonnage and cost heat, I would figure it out, because that rules. Okay, actually back in a second. And now we find ourselves on Antius, because I've just been flying around looking for missions, places where people like us and will give us jobs. I figured not only is this a good one, but somebody in the comments of a previous episode asked if we could see the art for the Kurita shop, because apparently each of the faction headquarters stores does have a unique little art panel here. So, check it out, the House Kurita store art. Honestly, like, these faction shops are okay. If we had gotten allied with somebody like way earlier in the game, if we'd really put the effort into that, you know, they're kind of like just another black market but slightly better. Some of the stuff that's on sale here is actually pretty cool, and if we were still looking for reasonable ship components, this would have been really useful. Unfortunately, I didn't bother to indulge in the reputation system like almost at all until we were basically done building our lance, so we didn't really get to take advantage. Anyway, I'm going to do the couple of very easy contracts that it turns out did pop up on this world. We're going to get super paid, and then I don't know what, and then I don't know where we're going to go. We're going to try to find someplace on the edge of Canopian space where we can get us into some trouble. I had a quick look, and it turns out that literally every system in Magistracy space is low skull. I think there's a single 3 skull, and that's it. They're all extremely easy. So I don't necessarily want to go in there, but I think we can run around sort of the edges, try to look for places where there are more difficult jobs. It seems to me to be the case that the higher the difficulty of the job, the more rep you gain and as such lose for doing it. So I'm hoping we can locate some kind of high skull something nearby. Honestly, that 3 skull system is maybe looking like it is the only game in town. 28 days? We're getting real close to the end here. Yeah, maybe this is where we're gonna end this episode. I know it's kind of like weird and choppy, but I guess let's just knock one of these out then. Yeah, sure. Let's take our B team, our small mechs, into this 3.5 skull. Give ourselves a little bit of a challenge, and then we'll call the episode there. So we are at 3.5 skulls. What am I expected to see opposition wise? Probably nothing amazing. I guess maybe we should sell off our excess stuff while we're here. Just thinking, if we spend all that time flying down, I don't want to end up on a system where we can't sell things, right? Not that the stuff we sell is going to be worth a huge amount. No, we're probably fine. I'll have time to get back to someplace, and as far as I know, reputation doesn't affect sell prices. Anyway, 3.5 skulls. What am I expecting to see? Like something in the 50 to 65 range, maybe? So, okay, like high 400 to high 500,000 per mech that we complete. We probably are better off taking the pay here, because the money just doesn't work out, I think, for taking salvage. So let's get rich, and also make the Capellans hate us even more, as if such a thing were possible. Oh, I didn't bother to repair the very small amount of damage that we took. Well, it doesn't matter. I did let some enemies shoot us in the back while intentionally hunting for headshots to try to take home maximum body parts on one of those missions. So we took a little bit of structural damage. I think I actually overheated the crab. Yeah, you can see every part has a tiny bit of damage because I let the crab overheat while I was hunting for headshots. So we're bringing in these guys. I do think this is a fun little team of mechs. And these pilots are a little on the bad side. If we're going to bring in the bad mechs, we have to have pilots who at least have the aim to get the job done. So, like, we can bring in Flatline. Flatline has some stuff he can do. Who has a weapon big enough? I guess you have a weapon big enough for breaching shot to be useful. You bring in Kitty Hawk, who's kind of bad at everything, but can at least hit headshots. Let's get Panabas. It would be cool to have people with vent, but a lot of our B-string pilots don't have vent, because I thought we had enough vent, right? Definitely want to keep Hex in. Actually, Hex ends up over here, probably. And then we can bring in somebody who's a little bit less valuable on the aluminum cannon, because let's be honest, it's the worst of these mechs. This job looks like it might require more firepower than that. Darius, don't tell me how to do my job. I have this crazy suspicion that we might get out the other side of this just fine. Yeah, it's only 3.5 skulls, so we're bringing what is registered here as a 2.5 skull team, but it is important to remember that our Griffin is a little bit better than its weight might imply, and also that our mechs are, if I may say so, impeccably designed by some engineering genius. And also, the enemies are bad at the game. There's also that. The Free Worlds League is tracking an extremely heavy mech with Capellan heraldry. This provocation is almost certainly bait for a trap. It says extremely heavy mech, but we're given the information that this is just a battle. So I'm not expecting to see one. I guess if it turns out that there actually is one extremely heavy mech, and I didn't know that was going to happen because I didn't bother to read the text until after taking the job, then I'll be bummed out about having gone O2 on salvage. But only kind of. Like, the difference between the value of the mech and the value of the pay is going to be pretty small, with the pay being pretty good on this mission.
Confirmed.
Alright, whoa, I don't know why this is being so weird and jerky all of a sudden.
Coordinates received.
Moving to position.
My computer can't handle all of this hot battletech action.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, what do we got here? We have a PPC carrier that's actually pretty well armored. Well, let's just hope that we get a lot of hits in the same area. Yeah, alright, we did a reasonable amount of damage there.
Awaiting orders. Orders.
So, I'm trying not to blow the sonic boom's turn on this. I'm hoping that we can get the job done with somebody else. The large laser will be good enough, right? Yeah. We just have to actually try to hit that location.
Roger.
Destroy enemy units, 100%. Is that...
One less vehicle.
Wait. What? That was the whole target group? I mean, obviously that's not going to be all the enemies on the mission, but that's weird that that was the whole target group.
Picking up a new sensor trace. Looks like enemy reinforcements.
Was that the extremely heavy mech?
Aye, aye.
That damaged PPC carrier?
Roger that.
Weird. Sometimes things in this game are weird. The difficulty ratings and...
Orders.
I guess let's just reserve down and let them come to us.
For tactical advantage.
Incoming bandit.
Well, I'm definitely glad we didn't take bonus salvage so that we could try to bring home the extremely heavy mech that turned out to be a really damaged truck that somebody tied some lasers to.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, alright, camera. I don't know what is going on with this thing. All of a sudden, this game is running very poorly.
Standing by.
So we should probably have somebody else do stuff here. I want to lose some of that
On my
evasion.
way.
We'll fire just the large laser. I guess we'll fire just enough lasers to keep us from generating any actual heat. Who knows? We might get lucky and deal some damage. Okay, let's turn off the 30 and put the 35 back on.
Acknowledged.
Mostly we're just stripping evasion here, although knocking the thing's arm clean off is also fun. Ooh, a 70 ton. That's definitely more than I was expecting to see.
Aye, aye.
So we're closer, and I mean, obviously we're going to use Precision Strike on this, but can we maybe get a little bit closer even? We have the aluminum cannon run up to here and just sensor lock it.
Moving out.
That'll do the job.
Sensors locked on.
Okay, this should be a real easy kill now, I think.
On my way.
Well, Precision Strike. I suppose we should go for the head. I mean, if I get the laser, I'm going to do it. If I get the laser and also a missile, I'll totally do the job. Just seeding the loot pool with the most valuable things we can.
What do you need?
And then they've already taken their actions, right? I suppose I should just reserve just in case there was one thing left on 2. Alright, you just sprint as fast as you can down that road, try to get in axe range, because who doesn't love to hit a giant robot with a giant robot
Come on,
axe?
people,
That's
let's
the
make it
coolest
happen.
thing. Alright, is there any place I'm going to get a... Yeah, okay, I can, in fact, get a pretty clean shot. I'm a little worried about the health of this mech. I would love to get a clean shot on their Wolverine. Yeah, I suppose we should take the Grasshopper pretty seriously, actually. Never mind, we'll just kill the Grasshopper. I have 68 resolve, so we can afford to precision strike twice this turn, but I think I'm not going to right now, because I want to maintain the inspiration buff. These pilots are a little bit worse at shooting than the ones we usually use, and these mechs are a little bit less powerful than the ones we usually use, so let's try to maintain some advantage here. Alright, Sonic Boom is the one that we want to really commit. Okay, I can get an unobstructed shot while having cover. Sign me up. And I'm going to go for the head here under the same logic, right? It's the same level of armor. Yeah.
Copy that.
We did not get the laser hit. I think it was 2 missiles, though.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, wow, it has very little head health left.
Receiving you.
I'm not going to stress about it, because odds are we won't get the parts anyway. But I'm gonna give it a little bit of an attempt. This is the only spot I can actually shoot at him from, huh? Well, try to finish the job, I guess. Not quite. Showed that medium laser who's boss, though.
Yeah.
And then... we're just running forward. I'm not applying any real strategy here. So we're not going to be able to get the kill. Do as much damage as I can, though. And if the AC-10 hits, we'll... Oh! Okay. What I was going to say is, if the AC-10 hits, it'll probably be a knockdown, and then that'll make him less likely to be able to actually hit us. But that works, too. That was also fine. Oh, wait, was the other shot... No, the other spot does not have an unobstructed shot. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to precision strike him here just to push his initiative down.
Firing a full salvo.
And whatever, we're just going to keep shooting at the head. Yeah, if the PPC had hit the head there, it would have been a kill, thanks to the lower armor, so...
Aye, aye.
And... do I... jump around behind him? I guess I wouldn't be able to fire everything, probably, if I jump around behind him, right? If I could just walk around behind him. Yeah, alright, I'll do that. So this it will, at the very least, be a knockdown. It might well be a kill. We didn't quite make it.
Target's taking a critical
62. I said didn't quite. We didn't... It is more accurate to say that we did not get anywhere near making it. Oh, that'll push him down to underneath... I know, we're all acting on 3 anyway. We do have range to just walk up and hack at him. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give him the axe.
Move order received.
Sorry. The stomp. It is kind of strange that stomping on people... Oh! We knocked the pilot out. I forgot... It's been such a long time since we've killed a pilot. I forgot you could do that. Apparently the side torso destruction there killed the pilot. Alright, well that was a weird episode. Weird stuff happened today. Honestly, we're like 1 or 2 episodes from the end of this thing. I think it has crept up on us pretty quickly here, due to a lot of off-camera flying around in space. There's one more mission on this system. I'll do that off-camera, because it will be even less interesting than that one was. I'm kind of glad we got that on camera, though, because it was kind of strange. And then I will figure out exactly where we want to go to try to blow up some Canopians. Let's just see what the random loot roller gives us. Okay, piece of a mech. Could end up being worth something. Who would have thought I'm actually going to be hoping to see cicadas on our next mission? Yeah, on the whole, I think we've done really well here across a wide variety of scoring criteria. Not quite so well with the system management. I could have been a little bit more careful and gotten us to a lot more places. I don't know if it's feasible to get star system completion if you aren't, like, really trying to. Like, I bet you have to intentionally fly really long distances so that you don't do the decelerating to the system, accelerating to the jump ship dance over and over again. You probably have to fly in a pretty weird way. It's not something you could do naturally. But we could have been closer, at least. We could have more points. So yeah, I think that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if we can, indeed, blow up any Canopians, and maybe how we're spending the rest of our 78 days. And we'll see you then.